Do you know that approval is needed to apply for change of use from one use class to another, or from one use class to an unclassified use class, or from one unclassified use class to another unclassified use class? Hi everyone, welcome back to Talking Shop with Property Bank. I'm Edith. Today we're going to dive into an important topic for business owners as well as investors: the different types of use classes for business premises. Let's jump in. So what exactly is change of use? So URA, which is Urban Redevelopment Authority, is the governing authority for such change of use. This is to ensure that in that given location, it is harmonious. So for example, if there are too many restaurants in say some shophouse location, then it will pose a car parking problem. That is when URA will step in to reject such change of use. And of course, in line with our vision, the Singapore's vision, in certain given areas, that would say that, live, work and play balance is also in check. So some of you out there running your business, or some of you who are investors, will be a little bit confused about this. You will say, hey, in this zoning, which is commercial means I can do anything which is non-residential, non-industrial. Why is there such a change of use required? So to make it simple and let you be aware is that master plan actually governs that whole usage, which is like commercial. And within that commercial use, you have such use as shop, restaurant, pet, commercial school, just to give you some use class examples. Now we dive into the 18 use classes. There are a total of 18 use classes. And let's start with class 1, which is shop. So shop, as all of you will know, it's like your retail shop, where you can buy things, you can do cash transactions. Yeah. Then next up is class 2, which is office. Of course, in most of these buildings that you see zone commercial, your CBD offices, you'll know that, well, there's no need for change of use because it's already an office. Yeah. So then class 3, which is a restaurant. So restaurant, well, besides being clear about the change of use to apply for restaurant, you also need to know whether there is the hardware there, which means your infrastructure, whether there is grease trap, there is exhaust. So this is beyond the use class change, but making sure that that space also functions as restaurant. And for class 4, which is an amusement center, and health center is excluded from there, like for example your massage, you cannot apply as a amusement center. Class 5, easy, that's a motor vehicle showroom. So for example, you see some of these industrial properties where the ground floor there is a motor vehicle showroom. Motor vehicle can be like for cars, can be for vans. So it doesn't mean that, okay, I go ahead and use it because it's like industrial use. You need to apply change of use for a motor vehicle showroom. And class 6, less used by most of us, is change of use to theatre. Okay, class 7 and class 8, which is light industrial and general industrial respectively. So for most of you out there, if you go to any of this industrial estate, then of course there is no change of use needed. And it's not going to be possible for you to say that today I am at a light industrial estate and I want to do heavy metal work. And for that particular unit, can I then go to URA to approve for heavy usage of that space? The answer is no. It will definitely be rejected, because remember what I used to mention just now, that URA just want to be sure that everyone in that location live harmoniously, so including working harmoniously. So in a light industrial location, you cannot have like heavy metalworks or even carpentry. So this two falls under like general industrial usage. Yeah. And if, for example, I'm doing lighter works, can I be in general industrial usage? Definitely. So what we call as B2, there is no need for change of use because it's a lighter class of use. And there is also the class 9, which is special industry purposes, like such as your waterfront, your special, like maybe different use from the light and heavy industrial use. And class 10, which is warehouse. For class 11 is a convalescence home, which is actually for rehab, for nursing, yeah. And for class 12, okay, this is quite frequently used. It is change of use to a childcare center. So this applies both, let's say you see a ground floor, second floor, kind of like commercial building, versus also that of an industrial property. That is because for industrial properties, government realized the needs of the parents, ferrying their children as close to their workplace. And so such functions can be approved change of use after you put in the application for change of use for a ground floor industrial property to a childcare center. Then for class 13, that's for use as a community building. And class 14, that's sports and recreation building. And class 15, that's nightclub. So don't get me wrong, nightclub doesn't only apply to nightclub entertainment use, but also for you guys with live music, then it is called nightclub for this URA change of use. Yeah, so it can be also a place where people enjoy both food as well as live music. And for that, police force application is also required. Yeah. For this, you need to also apply to our Singapore Police Force for the approval as well, for the entertainment license. And class 16, that's a pet shop. Okay, so when we hear about class 1, which is shop, it doesn't include pet shop. Pet shop is under a different use class for change of use application. And for class 17, that's for community sports and fitness. And class 18, which is what I'm very familiar with, it is for change of use to a commercial school. If you recall the previous episode, we take you to a tour of a cooking school. So even though it's a commercial space, it doesn't mean that they can just open their doors and conduct training right away. So this commercial school can be anything like tuition to adult training to your diploma and degree courses. So why are we running through all this? And in fact, I think most business owners will agree with me that it's not only a joy to find the right premises with the right footfall. The next thing that comes to them is that without the approval, the space will not be authorized for that business function. So it is really to allow time. So when in negotiation with the landlord, it is to make sure that you have that 4 weeks, 6 weeks, depending on the type of change of use that you require, to make sure that you have the time to apply for the change of use. So you will be stuck if you want to actually have the premise ahead of time for doing the renovation, and imagine the kind of costs that you'll be caught with. And when you start renovation and the change of use is not approved, so who suffers? Both the tenant as well as the landlord, because that also means missed opportunity for the landlord. The time has run. So let's go through the steps. So step number 1, you make sure that you know about the URA guideline. And if you're not sure, we are here to speak with you. Then of course you submit the application, and submitting application can be a lot of preparation before that submission, because you will need to make sure that you get a letter of consent from the landlord, because you as a tenant, you can put in the application, but without landlord's consent, URA will not go into approving or go into the application. And the necessary document also includes proper drawn out plans, the site plan, and sometimes even as detailed as the fire safety cert, kind of as detailed as to make sure that the approved plan also take into consideration the fire safety part. Yeah, so there is a waiting time, as I mentioned earlier. The fastest, of course, can be 2 weeks, but just make sure you allow like 4 to 6 weeks so that you don't rush into things. And finally, you get the approval. But of course, for that, the application fee to submit that approval applies. And for any change of use, if it is in a different class, there is also a need to pay the land betterment charge. Now, what happens if you choose not to apply for change of use? There can be significant consequences. Operating a business without the necessary approval can lead to fines, enforcement actions, and even closure of the business. So I like to highlight this, which is actually already in the news, a digital lock company that uses its unit for showroom, and then he needs to pay the land betterment charge that is $260,000. And then he decided not to continue this showroom anymore. So let me also say that, there's of course a confusion why a showroom cannot be operating, and there must be a change of use that's necessary. So if you look at the case in point, it is an industrial premise, and industrial premise is supposed to be for the purpose of B2B users. And in this case, it doesn't mean you cannot operate. Yes, you can operate, but after paying land betterment charge. And in this case, the business owner have to weigh and balance whether that $260,000, which is very hefty sum, is it worth his while to continue his operation. So just remember that showroom and retail is very gray. So if you're not too sure, it doesn't, and you think that because you are not collecting cash transactions, you are not operating a retail center within an industrial premise, then you are wrong, because operating a showroom with the end consumers coming is also giving way for the authorities to check. So that's one that made it to the headline news. And overnight, this company becomes popular. But there are many others that do not make it to the news for the unworthy news. Well, we know of such unauthorized users as well, so be careful. And I think it is also important for you as the business owner, when you put your deposit, for making sure that the landlord allows you to do so and giving you the letter of consent, they would want you to pay, say, 1 month's booking fee, accompanied with the letter of intent. And please be sure that you also include this clause that if upon rejection, then you get that 1 month back without interest. So this is important to subject your letter of intent to change of use approval. Change of use is a very complicated process. So if you are a business operator and looking for sites and not very sure how to go about, and you are not sure whether for the change of use, give us a WhatsApp 8333-1338. And we are producing such contents because we love our business community and investors. So be sure you subscribe and give us your comments, tell us what we can do better. And I'm Edith from Property Bank. Bank on us for properties.